Darkcast Network. The light shines brightest on our indie podcasts.
Hi, this is Kelly.
And this is Jenna.
And you're listening to ODFM.
This episode is One Drawing from Murder.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.
Oh, you found a drawing!
I found a drawing. I could have done doodle, but it was more of a drawing. So, one drawing. I had quite the work week, right? And so, like I think you do, and probably many people listening to this.
Oh, yes.
I needed to decompress one afternoon, so I put on the old standards. I threw on Forensic Files.
Oh,
Zone out to, right?
Yes,
you know?
I was thinking you were going to say Biggie hip hop. You know, like.
No, I needed to just like zone out to something calming.
Okay, gotcha.
And only true crime lovers understand that is calming.
It is. Isn't it weird?
It is calming. And I when I think calming, I don't think, I know other people feel differently. I feel like Cold Case Files, Forensic Files, the ones with the solutions.
Yes.
Calming to me is not Unsolved Mysteries where they're like, and he's still out there. I'm like, I'm not calm now. I'm not
like our last episode.
Right. My life is a series of questions with no answers, and it's giving me stress. I need answers. I want answers.
Answers are important.
So
you have answers in this one.
I have answers.
Good.
I have answers. So I hope everyone will enjoy this. Apparently there's been some updated like episodes on this, not from Forensic Files, but some other, Forensic Files is what I watched. It is what soothed me.
Yes. It's so
right?
Your soul.
Yes.
We'll get
updated. This got me through that afternoon.
Okay.
So, all right. So we are talking September 19th, 1995. Okay. This is Laurel, Delaware. We don't do a lot of Delaware.
No. This could have been one Delaware even.
One Delaware. Oh well. Okay.
Yeah, whatever. We'll find another.
So Laurel, Delaware, which is like a small farming community, right? It's not a big city or anything. It's a small area. Okay. And this is the story of 32-year-old Kaye Robinson. She lived in the Laurel Ridge Mobile Home Park with her 11-year-old son, Nick.
All right.
She's a single mother. She sold insurance.
That's tough. Okay.
Her son's father had been not involved with them since Nick was about 4 years old. So she was solidly on her own, right? She had a nice place for them. She had this nice mobile home for them. And she'd recently become engaged to her longtime boyfriend.
Oh,
right. So she's nice. She's doing good, right?
Yeah, things are happening. Okay. Plus, insurance isn't a bad gig. So
no, it's like people always need insurance, especially if they're planning on killing somebody.
What? Yeah, that happened. That's in so many of our cases. Maybe
so many episodes.
Maybe that should just be her specialty.
Inside,
are you going to kill your spouse?
Right. So insurance ties into this episode, but just in a very different way.
Right. Right.
Than our typical.
In a little more innocent.
Right. This is a far innocent way. She just sells the insurance, right? So it's September 19th. Sometime after midnight, Kaye awakes to someone banging on her front door.
Oh,
yeah.
Leave me alone.
Yeah. Someone's banging on her front door, which, okay. So she goes and her front door had a window in it, right? So she goes through the window and she looks and there's a man she doesn't recognize. And he's like, my car broke down. I need to come in and use your phone. I need a ride.
Go to the next trailer.
And she's like, I don't know you. And he's like, well, my name's Jack Wilson. I just need to use your phone.
Oh, well, now that I know you.
Well, right. Yeah. Well, that makes it fine. Right. And she's like, no, you know, she's not stupid. Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like, you're in a mobile home park. There's other ones.
There's
right there.
Lots of other cars.
Go to another option.
Right.
Yeah.
But he was very persistent. So she's like, okay. She's like, I'm alone in this house with my son. Right.
I'll call for you.
That's exactly what she said.
Yes.
She's like, look, I'm not going to open the door, but give me the phone number. I will call for you. So she does.
Okay.
And the person on the other end of the phone is like, I don't know anybody named Jack. Right.
Yeah. Her instincts were right.
Her instincts were right. So she goes back to the door and she's like, I need you to leave immediately. You need to go.
I think I would go back to the door with 911 on the phone.
Right. And be like, I've already called the police.
Well, yeah, I've already called.
He does walk off the porch and she does call 911.
Oh, good.
Okay. She reports the incident, and the Delaware State Police, they do come out. They drive into the mobile park. They check things out. They don't see anything weird. They don't see the guy. They don't see the broken car. Like, okay, well, he got help elsewhere.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, I feel the build up. Okay.
Right.
The stress is coming.
Or there was no car.
Or, yeah. Oh,
and
he's just hiding somewhere.
Right. So the Delaware police come, they clear the scene. So Kay's like, all right, she goes back to bed.
Okay. Oh, God.
About 30 minutes later, she's awakened to a noise that seems to come from inside her house.
No.
Yeah.
Right? Her son got up and dropped Legos.
Right. She has a son. He could have. Yeah. So she got up to go see what it was.
Oh, God. Yeah.
The man from the front door is now standing in her kitchen holding a butcher knife.
Fuck. No. Right? Dude, that is not going to help your car. I have tools in another room.
Right. If you need a screwdriver, I can get you a screwdriver.
I don't think a knife's going to work as well.
Like, she did everything she was supposed to do. Yeah. She reported it to the police. The police came out. They didn't blow her off.
I can't believe he didn't run off.
Nope. That did not spook him.
Oh, I think he'd come a different night. Yikes.
Mm-hmm. Nope. Same night. Okay. So he's holding this butcher knife. So he chases her. He starts to run after her. She tries to run, catches her by the arm, forces her back into her bedroom.
Oh, God.
And he's like, I'm going to kill your son if you don't cooperate.
Oh, he knows about her son.
He knows about her son. Someone's been watching.
Oh, God.
Right.
I don't like this, Jenna.
No. I'm sorry. I promise.
Your forensic files is not putting me at ease.
It's not putting me at ease. Look, Kelly's like, I am having a very different reaction to this episode.
I don't feel as calm about this.
Right. I'm sorry. I'll get to the calm. I'll get there.
Okay.
It's not yet though. Sorry. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Warning you now, Kelly.
He's still there.
Yeah. So he ties her up. He spends the next 3 hours assaulting her.
Oh, God. How does it go on so long?
Right? No. And apparently he's like chatty through it. Right. He's talking
like
to
it's
her.
Just normal. We're just on a date.
He talks through it. So it's 3 hours of this, sexual assault.
It's got to feel like days for her.
That's got to feel, I can't even imagine. Right. I mean, yeah.
Gross.
So he mentioned that he lived in the same mobile park, this same place.
Okay. Give us all the details.
And had 2 children. Right. Now, again, Kaye is not stupid. So she's like, okay, he's sharing information with me.
Yeah.
I know what his face looks like.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, shit. He's going to kill me.
Yeah. He's not going to let me live through this. Right. God. But she keeps thinking of her son in the next room. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to do what you can do for your babies.
Right. Exactly. Right. When he seemed to be done attacking her, the man takes the butcher knife and begins stabbing her repeatedly about the chest and back and neck as she's struggling. Right.
Oh my God.
And as she's struggling, he yells to her, "Are you dead yet, bitch?"
Yeah.
So she's like,
yeah, I am. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And she said, as she struggled, he got more forceful. So she's like, all right, so I have one choice. I'm going to pretend. I'm going to pretend to be dead. Right.
Okay.
So that's what she does. And it worked.
Oh, thank God.
She said she held her breath.
So many stab wounds she could still die from.
She held her breath.
Okay.
And he got up to leave, but not before walking towards her son's door. And he opened the door, looked in, saw the boy still asleep, closed the door and left.
Oh, thank God.
Right. So,
mama.
However, Nick, the 11-year-old, had actually woken up, but played asleep.
Oh my God. It's
a family of actors. I guess. It is, right?
Yeah.
It's a family of actors. They're very good at this.
Very street smart. Yeah.
They're very street smart and they are very good actors. So this kid, I'm faking asleep. Right.
Yeah.
So he does that. As soon as he hears the guy leave, he gets up, runs and checks on his mom. His mom is barely hanging on to life. He runs next door to get help and he calls the neighbor. He gets the neighbor. The neighbor calls to report to 911. It's like, my neighbor has been raped and stabbed by an intruder.
Can't you hear it through the walls? I wonder. I don't know.
I mean, 3 hours. I mean, although my kids when they're asleep, like, holy crap, are they asleep? Like, they're like wet noodles.
Right. Totally.
You're like,
I meant like the
up.
neighbors, you know, like
the neighbors. I wonder if they heard something. Right. I don't know, man.
Ah, God. Okay.
You'd think after 3 hours, something would be heard somewhere. You know,
maybe
but sometimes you hear stuff and you're
That's
like,
true.
All right, do I hear anything else? No. All right. Did my dog move? No. Okay, cool. Then I guess.
Plus, maybe she didn't want her son to come in the room, you know.
Could you imagine? Right. I don't want him to walk in on this. I don't want him to see anything. I don't. Yeah, totally.
Baby.
Kaye's near death, right? She had been stabbed 28 times.
Jesus.
Right?
Holy shit.
Her neck was slashed, but somehow the attacker missed both her jugular vein and her carotid artery.
Wow.
Right.
That's
and
insane.
Didn't get her spinal cord at all.
Oh my God.
I mean, so
it was very lucky how he misjudged everything.
Kaye was on life support, but she did survive.
Oh,
and
God.
When she regained consciousness, she was like, I can identify my attacker.
Oh, yes.
So during those 3 horrible hours of torture, she made a point to memorize every tiny detail she could manage.
Oh my God.
That's probably how she
incredible.
Right. Like past the time was like, I am just going to collect all this information.
Wow.
He left her bedroom light on the whole time.
Wow.
She had 3 hours of seeing his face in the light.
That's horrifying.
Oh my God. Right.
Well, he probably assumed he would
kill
her.
Wasn't planning on leaving a victim. Right. So, you know, she was able to give a sketch artist a full description. Right. This guy, like, so, you know, height, weight, and he was pretty average looking. He had like shoulder length brown hair and a full scruffy, like, facial hair. Right. Not long. Not like it is now, like, you know, this was like 1995. So just
kind of the
scruffy brown eyes. I mean, nothing really like he had a tattoo or anything that you could really identify.
I thought you were saying he did. And I was like, oh,
no, he didn't. You know, he was pretty, you know, but she gave him a really great description.
Good.
She also made note of every single thing that he touched while he was in her house. Right.
Okay.
And she watched because he was very careful to wipe prints off of everything he touched.
No.
Except for one thing. She had like a blue plastic glass.
Okay.
And I don't know not that this wasn't an insult anyway. It was hard to tell if this was like she had a glass of water by her bed and he drank out of it too. It was like, dude.
Yeah, that was mine.
Or
I might be thirsty.
But at this point, you know, does it really matter? I mean,
no.
You know, or if he like went to the kitchen and got water, I'm not sure. But anyways, blue plastic glass. And she watched him pick it up and drink from it. And then he carefully used the sleeve of his shirt to wipe off his prints. But then he used his hand to put it back down again.
So if we're talking someone on the dumbest criminal.
Right. He's like, right. It was like, so she's like, oh, you're not that smooth, are you? Like, you think you're being smooth, but you're not as smooth as you think you are. Right?
Oh no. Well, good.
Right. So the crime scene analysis, they found it, right? And they look on it and they're like, okay, yeah, there's prints on there. But they were kind of like greasy prints, like,
he's greasy.
Like a lubricant or something.
Oh,
so I know, right? And so they were like, oh God, these could smear.
Oh no. So they have to be super careful.
So this was the forensic files part, right? So they put the plastic glass in the freezer to harden the prints.
Smart.
And then they dusted them and then they were able to lift them with the tape on that. Like,
that's amazing.
You know, and get them, right? I was like, oh, that's smart, man.
Super.
Because all you have to do is like put the tape on it once and go,
yeah. And you miss it up.
And she's like, the one fucking thing that I saw.
Yeah.
Right.
God.
Right. Could you imagine?
No.
All right. Right. So
thank God that guy didn't decide to wear gloves or something.
Right. Yeah. Like that. Yeah. He didn't wear gloves. He didn't wear a mask. He just, So anyway, they did a rape kit. They have his face. They have fingerprints. You know, they released this to the media. Yeah. They're like, you know, this is who we're looking for. People know what's going on. So, but you know how in an investigation, police usually hold something back that only the killer or the perpetrator would know, right? Here's the thing that they held back. When the paramedics arrived to check on her, she was kind of, I guess, laying kind of on her side or on her stomach. So her back was exposed.
Okay.
before he left, he put his fingers in her blood and drew a smiley face on her back.
Oh, what a...
Holy crap.
How awful. Like, you've already denigrated this lady's
body, God, right?
And then you just take it that next step.
I mean, yeah, that's
further.
Another level, sadistic, level weird.
Ooh.
So he drew a smiley on her back. Holy crap. Also, this is the second story that I've done for this podcast where there's
with smiley
faces. So what the fuck?
What is your problem?
But this episode was called Smiley Face. And that's partly why I stopped and hit play, because I was like, what's this? Is this the story? Different story.
Different smiley face killer. Okay.
So I was like, how many smiley faces we got here?
Yeah, maybe come up with your own symbol, douchebag.
Yeah, right? Something's too copycat. 2 weeks after the attack, Kaye's neighbors call police to let them know that there's a man outside of Kaye's mobile home. Now, she's not there still. She's still recovering, right? They're looking outside. And everybody, I'm sure, from this mobile home is on edge now. Right?
Yeah, they're who is this dude? He said he lives here.
So there is a man who's pulled his car up in front of her mobile home, and then he lit a candle, and he appears to be kneeling and praying in front of her door.
Creepy.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Praying that she dies so he doesn't get caught.
When police arrive, they find 38-year-old Doug DeSilva in front of Kaye's home, just like the neighbor described. And he's there saying, well, I'm very disturbed by what happened, and I want to help in any way possible. And so this was him there praying for her. Okay.
Creepy by himself.
Right. It's just weird, right?
It's weird.
They look at his truck, and in his truck, he has a newspaper article about the attack.
Okay.
Right. And he has the composite sketch that was posted in the paper taped to his windshield.
What the hell?
What, right?
What?
And they're like, what's up with this? And he was like, well, I want to help. So I taped it there so that I could drive the streets, like with the sketch in one,
so that he can compare.
He could be comparing as he's going down the street and be like comparing. If that's not weird and creepy enough as it is.
Yeah.
He is the spitting image of this composite.
I was going to say, is it like looking in a mirror every time he looks at his dash?
So also weird, because he's like, all you'd have to do if this wasn't you was look the streets for someone who looked like you moron.
You look in the mirror every day. You know what you look like.
There's a guy who looks like me. There's a guy who looks like, whatever. It was just like, you don't need this sketch, right?
Really freaking bizarre.
Also, I just had this vision of him in the car and looking at the sketch, and then looking in the rear view and going, oh, there's the guy. Oh, wait, that's me.
Seat. Oh,
it's in the back seat, right?
Also, pro tip, keep your car as full of junk as possible, like I do, so that nobody can get in your back seats.
There you go.
And then you don't have to worry about checking for them in the back seat.
That's how you know.
Pro tip.
That's excellent. They're like, yeah, this is not weird. This is weird. This is really weird. Okay.
This is not weird. This is
not
normal.
weird. This is totally
everybody does this.
Doug DeSilva lives more than 100 miles away.
Whoa. Okay, Doug, what you coming out
is really
for,
weird,
buddy?
But his ex-wife and daughter live in the mobile home park.
Okay. There's the connection.
Okay, right. But they're like, yeah, this is still weird, and you're trespassing and all this. And they take him in for questioning. And, they look him up, and they're like, this is interesting. He happens to be a murder suspect.
Oh, shit. For something else?
For something else. So 6 months earlier, before this attack, a 16-year-old girl who went to a nearby high school was murdered. And he's listed as one of the potential suspects, or potential suspects, or just a suspect, right?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, boy. Okay. So they're like, yeah, this is really, we feel like we might be on.
Look into this guy. Yeah.
So they start interrogating him, and he's very cooperative, like overly cooperative.
A little too cooperative.
Like weird, right? And he keeps saying, I'm very sorry for what happened to her. Like, I feel really badly about what happened to Kaye.
Then why did you
really
do
bad? Right? He has no alibi for the night of the attack.
It's like he planned everything else but this.
Yeah, right?
Okay,
so they're like, okay, this is really... And then in the middle of being questioned, he surprises the investigators by going, can I have a job application? Because I really want to become a state trooper.
Probably not the best time to... This is
right.
Not a great first impression. So maybe...
Right, exactly.
Maybe wait to a different day.
So what brought you in today to fill out this application? Well, you guys brought me in.
Yeah, I'm a suspect, but it's okay.
I'm also right, exactly. Now in 2 crimes, I'm a suspect.
Yeah,
right.
It's all right.
So
oh my God.
They're like, okay, I don't know what his game is, but he, this is probably one of those guys who thinks he's smarter than us or whatever,
absolutely.
Right? So they're like, okay, all right, we'll give you an application.
We'll play along.
So they give him one, right? They're like, here, fill this out.
Yeah.
So
give us all the information you can.
Right, exactly. So while he's sitting there filling out his job application to become a state trooper, they take his photo and they put it in a photo lineup and they put it in front of Kaye Robinson. And she immediately goes, that's him. That's the guy. And she picks out Doug DeSilva. She's like, that's him. Oh my God. She said she got like a physical reaction. To
I'm sure.
She was like, that's him.
Right. Trauma.
They also show the lineup to her 11-year-old son, Nick, who said that he glimpsed the guy before he pretended to be asleep.
Oh,
he
right.
Also he also picks out Doug DeSilva. He's like, that's him. Right. So they're like, okay, we got our guy, right?
Now, by the way, thank you for your application. And now you're under arrest. Oh,
speaking of the application.
Oh, yes.
When he finishes, he hands it to detectives who take it. And it's like multiple page application. So they're looking at it and they're just kind of like flipping through. And on the last page at the very bottom, he drew a smiley face.
Oh, genius.
Holy shit.
Wow, you're hired. You're hired to go to jail.
It's almost like I'm daring you to arrest me.
Absolutely.
Right? So
plus, now he has his fingerprints on paper.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure his fingerprints and everything. Right?
Anyway, oh yeah. Wait, well, because they arrested him and charged him with the attempted murder of Kaye Robinson, right? And when they arrest him, he says, "Tell her I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. I remember going there, but I don't remember stabbing her."
Oh, we're going with the dumb defense.
I only remember part of it, right?
Okay. Oh no, I blacked out.
Right. So this seems pretty open and shut, right? Like this guy has literally
him. Right. Totally. Unless he has an identical twin.
No, there's and there's also no.
By your face, I thought you had guessed
no
it.
conjoined twins either. No,
dang it, because that theory, it's kind of it's fluid. It can go almost to any story. So
exactly.
I was hoping, but okay.
Well, they arrest him, they take his prints, and they discover that his prints do not match that blue plastic cup.
Oh, no.
Okay, but, that happens a lot. Like
it does.
They can't find fingerprints, or maybe she mixed up the cup. I mean, she was tortured for 3 hours.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And they kind of wrote it off as, we don't always get prints at a scene.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever. Okay. He was wiping things off. I don't know whose freaking prints were on this glass or whatever, but okay.
Shit.
They're like, all right. But then they get DNA from him and it doesn't match the rape kit.
What? Okay.
Right?
So he's just a doppelganger.
He's one of these absolute weirdos who wants to take credit for something he didn't do.
Oh no.
But
come on.
What possessed him to draw a smiley face of all things?
Yes, seriously.
I mean,
maybe he's a psychic and he just didn't know how to tell them without like
right. That's not how you that's
not a good way to do it.
That's not how that works. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I seriously thought, the smiley face on the application
absolutely
was the coffin, right? No. So,
I guess it's a really common symbol. I mean,
well, true. And it wasn't there's like a million different ways to make a smiley face, and his smiley face didn't look that way. Okay. But it was also lack of a better way to say it, 2 different mediums. One was in pen, one was in blood. You gotta
true. Yeah.
I don't know how else to say that.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like,
one's gonna be a little more smeary. Yeah.
Right. Right. And I didn't actually get to see. I mean, I saw the one. I don't know if it was a reenactment or not. So I don't. Sometimes people put a nose. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes put hair. Yeah. Who knows? Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes I put the little like cheeky lines, like the smile lines, and sometimes I don't. I don't know, but still, it seemed like a pretty like slammy dunk
like,
kind of, right?
How did he know?
But also, how unprofessional to put a smiley face in the bottom of your freaking job application.
I really want to drive your state trooper car. Smiley face.
It was just really weird, right? All right. So Kaye is like, she didn't know what to do with this information.
Like,
she was like, with every fiber of my being, this is the guy that was in my house. I was with him for 3 hours. It was the worst 3 hours of my life. That's him. What if she hears his voice, though? You're telling me, I believe they said she wanted to hear it too, and she thought it was him. God. But the DNA doesn't match. They even sent the DNA back to the FBI crime lab and had it tested a second time.
Had she been with anyone else earlier in the night?
I don't think so. I mean, I guess the only person, well, I mean, you would think the only other person would be her fiance, and they would have tested that. I don't. Yeah. But like, she was like, what? And her son thought the same thing. But like I said, this guy, I mean, he was just kind of a greasy,
pretty average looking guy. I mean, he has greasy fingerprints. So
he didn't have any, like, there was no distinguishing things that stood out about him.
That's bizarre. Yeah. So he looks like every average Joe. All right.
So she's like, obviously, she's traumatized. Now she's like, oh my God, you're telling me this guy that I am convinced did this to me. He's free.
And whoever else who really did it is
still out there, right? So Kaye took self-defense. She bought a gun.
Good for her.
She learned how to use it. And one day she found out where Doug lived and drove to his house and sat outside in her car with her gun.
Lit a candle with
she should have.
Don't mind me.
I'm just going to pray for you out here. Okay. Don't you worry about it. Right.
Don't come too close.
Right. And she had every intention of knocking on his door.
Oh my God.
Holding the gun to him and confronting him. And then,
but then
putting an end to it right there.
No, then she'd go to jail and her baby'd be on his own.
That's exactly what stopped her. Was she was like, I want to raise my kid. I want to be there for him. The evidence says he's innocent, so I'm going to go to jail.
Right, which isn't fair.
Right. But police didn't have any other leads. No other tips came in. That was it. Like, once they lost DeSilva, they were like, we have nothing right now.
Oh no.
And so the case went cold, and she had to recover and move on with her life. And she still had health issues. Obviously, she got stabbed 28 times, you know, so it's not like she was bounced back, but you know, her life was forever changed. So
DeSilva, was he just admitting to the 16-year-old?
I don't know what happened to the 16-year-old.
Because
they just
I wonder if he just was trying to admit to that one too.
Was he really a suspect, or did he also just decide to go and
fill out
an
application?
School?
Can I fill out an application to be a suspect?
I would like to be a teacher. Can I fill out an application? Right. I don't. It was very weird.
Oh, what a weirdo. Okay.
I don't get the psychology behind that.
Right. I don't either.
I don't get it. It really doesn't make any sense.
Get be it must. But it's the way they're raised.
I don't know, man. It's just weird. So that's it. Nothing else comes to this case for 9 years.
9 years.
9 years.
She's got to live with the fear that it could come.
Yeah. She doesn't know who it is or whatever. All right. So 9 years later, detectives in Maryland, different state, right?
Different state. Okay.
They find themselves with a case that is eerily similar to what happened to Kaye, right? They have a single mother living in a mobile home with her child asleep in the next room.
Oh, God.
And she is awoken to a man standing in her bedroom holding a butcher knife and a rolling pin.
Well, I was going to make some cookies after we're done.
Right. Exactly. I need you to bake me a pie. No, unfortunately, much more sinister than that. But she's standing over her with, you know, this. And he's like, look, I'm not going to hurt you or your child if you don't fight me. Which you are going to hurt me.
Yeah,
you're going to kill me is what you're saying.
Right.
And so again, this man ties her up and assaults this woman. All right. So here's the thing that was a little different, right? I don't know if at some point during this assault or as he's done or I don't know, right?
Sometime.
She starts pleading for him to please don't hurt my son.
Yeah.
Like, please just leave. leave and don't hurt my son. And it was like some kind of a weird switch and his demeanor changed.
Uh-oh.
He starts asking her to forgive him. Right?
Sounds like DeSilva, but okay.
But instead of stabbing her like he did to Kaye, he says, just don't get up right away. He leaves her tied up. He's like, don't get up. I'm going to leave. I'm not going to, I'm not going to touch your kid.
Okay.
Then you can get up and shower and you can go to work, but don't call police.
I trust you.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Okay. Right. All right. Thanks. Appreciate you.
He leaves and she makes it off the bed and gets to a phone and calls 911 immediately. Yeah. Police discover that this man entered her mobile home by breaking a window. Like, I guess not actually like breaking the glass of the window.
Like he pushing it through.
He broke the window because they found it actually like he had removed the window.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was actually sitting against her mobile home, like leaning against the home on the ground. Right.
Creepy. Okay.
And there were fingerprints left on the glass.
Oh, thank God. Okay, good.
Right. Once again, someone doesn't know how to wear gloves. All right.
Yeah. And he should stop eating fries before he.
Right. What's with the fries, man?
What's with your greasy fingers?
So they lift the prints and they find the prints in the system and they belong to 42-year-old Mark Eskridge.
Whoa.
A guy who happens to be married with a young child. Okay. And they quickly arrest him, right?
Okay, good.
And the Maryland police contacted detectives in Delaware and was like, look, we just caught this guy. And this sounds a whole lot like your case from 9 years ago, right?
Good for them. Paying attention.
They send him his mugshot and Mark Eskridge looks a lot like Kaye's composite sketch, right?
Oh my God.
And they discover that 9 years ago, Mark Eskridge was living in the Laurel Ridge mobile home park.
Oh, like he said.
Just a few streets away from Kaye and her son. How did they not
check everybody there?
I don't know. You think, yeah, why they had the sketch. Yeah. Why didn't they? I mean, this guy said he lived here. There. I mean, granted, you're probably like, he probably lied, but what if he didn't?
Still,
you have to look, right? Yeah. So he lived a couple streets down in the same mobile home park, but it doesn't sound like he was married with a kid then.
Okay. Well, maybe he just wasn't home. They came by and checked and he wasn't home and they were like, yeah, we'll just leave it.
Oh God, that would suck, right?
That's so scary. So, yeah.
It seems to me that if how I was reading between the lines is correct, he was single when he attacked Kaye. And this person in Maryland, he had a wife and child. So when this woman said, don't hurt my son, suddenly that meant something to him.
Yeah, because now we can relate to how.
Right. I don't know, man. Okay, so hey, maybe there's some hope now, right?
Yeah.
Now for the bad news.
Oh shit! Come on.
I know, right? I promise there's resolution because you're like, I am not feeling.
I don't feel comforted.
Right. I'm not feeling
very uncomforted.
Mark's prints were also not a match for the blue plastic glass. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you.
Pizza delivery guy.
Right? And when she saw a picture of him, Kaye was like, that's not the guy.
Seriously.
Right?
Wow. But
that's not the
guy she was so sure about. Oh, frick. Okay.
Right? They check the DNA. And he's a match.
What?
I know, right?
What? That's amazing. And so she didn't reckon. Of course, it's been almost 10 years.
Okay, right. It's been almost 10 years, right? And if you looked at how Mark Eskridge looked when he was arrested, he doesn't look how he did the 9 years prior.
Okay,
like
that makes sense.
Dude didn't age well. Okay. He did not.
Yeah, he lived a bit of a more rough life.
A little more swollen, a little more. Okay. Yeah, he didn't look as good. So, but if you look at her sketch, I actually have a picture that I can post. If you look at the composite sketch and you look at Doug DeSilva on one side and Mark Eskridge at the time of the attack,
okay,
they both, not only do they look a lot like each other, but they both are a match for this composite sketch. Like, whoa,
that's wild.
Eerily similar, right?
I hope the other Kelly that's out there that looks just like me isn't a criminal.
If not, you just gave her some ideas.
No. Oh shit, right? It wasn't me.
So Kaye was like, I don't get it. I'm shocked. I don't get it. But
yeah,
all I can think is like she saw Doug DeSilva's photo. It matched in her head. And she locked onto that.
Yeah,
plus,
and you can't.
And he was in the news.
Absolutely.
He was in, you know, I mean,
seeing it. Yeah, so she was pretty sure, but
she was pretty sure, right?
Shit. Okay.
Oh God. So Mark Eskridge was tried and convicted for the crime that he committed in Maryland for the woman that he attacked there, right? And he received a life sentence for that.
Whoa, good.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
In 1995, so like 10 years after she was attacked, Kaye finally got her turn in court, right?
Okay.
Mark went on trial for sexual assault and attempted murder. He was convicted and he got an additional 20 years tacked on to the life sentence he had gotten for Maryland.
Good. Because he'll be out in 5 anyway.
Right. Right. So as of today, he is still rotting away in a correctional institution in Maryland. So this is a perfect example of why eyewitness identification is not always reliable. Even when you feel it in your gut, like the mind so does crazy things. And
I know they say that a lot.
And trauma. I mean,
that witnesses aren't reliable at all.
Thank goodness for DNA, man.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Yikes.
So, and I there's still no explanation for what Doug DeSilva was thinking. Why, of all things, he drew a smiley face. Like, I don't know, man.
I wonder if there were other victims that they just didn't relate to it, because that's a long time in between.
Of course, is a long time.
Get married and stuff, but
I don't. Yeah, right. But it's. I mean, it was it was a mobile home. It was a single mom with a kid. I mean, he had a. There was something he looked for, right? Right. He had a plan. He had a situation he was looking for.
Probably a little easier to break into than regular houses. I don't know.
True. I don't know. Oh my God. So.
Oh, that's creepy.
But even though she was so certain that they got the guy.
Yeah, they did.
They got the guy.
They did get him, and he didn't come back for her, which I figured he would be bent on.
Yeah.
Oh.
So.
Oh, good story.
Effing creepy is that one, man?
So creepy.
Go forensics.
Thank God. Yeah.
Go forensics.
Go forensic. Go science.
Forensic. So my sources are obviously Forensics Files, season 13, episode 21, smiley face, right?
You're right. Got that one.
There's also apparently Discovery, the ID channel did a one on this too, but
okay.
I didn't watch that one. But they did one also.
Cool.
And then there was like the Cinemaholic. I filled out a little information for the Cinemaholic, and there was gizmostory.com. I have no idea what Gremlins has to do with true crime stories, but
this is where they've made their mark on the world now. They're like, well, we're done being those guys. Now we're going to research.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's all. When I hear Gizmo, that's all I think of. Right. My cry. You know, I don't.
So funny.
So that's the story of the smiley faces. I think will forever give me the creeps.
I know. I love it.
Dude. Yeah, that was a weird one, man. I mean, she was set, and those guys, man, when you see the pictures, they look alike. They really they did. Like I said, in my opinion, the difference between Mark Eskridge when he committed the crime and when he was finally arrested is a lot like Mickey Rourke. Before and after.
You
know how the plastic surgery and the stuff, like he looks like a different person.
It's bad. He used to be so good looking. And
I know.
Wow. Yeah.
That's what it made me think of. Like, that's how different. No wonder she's like, that's not the guy. That's not what he looked like at all.
He needs better surgery.
Like, win a date with Mickey Rourke, and you're thinking, what was that movie? It was supposed to be like nine and a half weeks. What was the movie that whatever was the very intense, sexy movie he was in? And people are like, that's what I'm getting. And then the guy shows up and you're like, oh hell no.
Ooh, back off on the surgeries, dude. Ooh, yeah.
That was
Hey Oddies, thanks for listening to another episode of ODFM. If you're a longtime listener, hey, we cannot thank you enough for your continued support. And if you're a new listener, thanks for giving us a try. If you like us, please drop us a like, subscribe, or rate us so we can share our stories with more people around the world. And if you'd like more information, like links to our podcast and socials, along with our Patreon fan page, those links are all on Linktree under ODFM Podcast. That's linktr.ee/ODFM Podcast. Side note, you guys, we're obsessed with fan art, and we love making things with it, like stickers for our fans. So if you'd like us to use your designs, send it to us at odfmpodcast@gmail.com. And if we use your design, we'll be sure to send you a sticker.
Thanks for listening to another episode of ODFM, hosted by Kelly DeVries and Jenna Swanson. Production and editing by Kelly DeVries. Theme music by Eric Swanson. ODFM is a satirical true crime podcast for entertainment purposes only. The stories you hear are serious and true. The comments and opinions are not. We apologize if any of our content is harmful or disrespectful.